Have you ever considered why no matter how many times you turn in a resume, you can't seem to get the job? No matter the qualifications or responsibilities, it seems like you are never good enough or you're missing something. For jobs where you are more than certain that you are qualified, if not above qualifications, you still can't seem to get the job. Have you ever considered the reason you have never received a call back for jobs or for interviews is because it has nothing to do with your qualification or skills, but rather how you look? Have you ever thought that instead of it being about whether or not you have the skill set, it's about whether or not people think you're good enough for the job or have the right look for it? Hiring discrimination is so common within all industries of business. Many hiring managers have misconceptions of applicants, whether it's because of their race, their gender, their disabilities, sexualities, age, or anything else. There seems to be these unconscious biases, ones that we are not even aware we have, that overtake a hiring manager's thought process, leading to a lack of cause for jobs and interviews for specific minorities. One such group which has faced a lot of hiring discrimination is people with disabilities. In a study done by Mark L. Lengnick-Hall, Philip N. Gaunt, and Mukta Kulkarni, where 38 executives across a broad array of industries and geographic locations were interviewed, it was found that employees who do not hire people with discriminations or PWDs is because of several reasons. As you can see from the chart listed, a lot of the reasons are focused on more so like the skill set that someone with a disability would have, or it deals with the fact that they don't believe they can manage the tasks being given to them. They think that there's going to be a cost incurred by the company because of someone with a disability. And they also believe that customers and employees alike are not going to get along with said PWDs, but rather there's going to be some form of people being not okay with someone with a disability. However, though these are assumptions, they are all false. As the chart shows you, that even though someone has a disability, they are seen to be more productive. There are studies and experiments that have been done to prove that people with disabilities do above average than people without disabilities, and that the costs that could potentially be incurred by a company do not make it such a huge impact on the company that it would cost them more money. And rather, what that person brings actually makes a revenue increase for that company rather than a loss. But even with this proof being there is still a lack of PWDs being interviewed or hired. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 54 million Americans have a disability. People with severe disabilities working full-time can earn approximately $1,000 less than someone without a disability. And there's 13.3 million people between the ages of 16 to 64 with a disability that have an unemployment rate of 70%. So, as you can see, the numbers are pretty great. There is a huge amount of Americans who are not being accessed that could potentially hold so much worth for a company, and if anything, help the company strive. One company to consider when thinking about places to work, especially if you are someone with a disability, is IBM. They focus on hiring, recruiting, and retaining PWDs. What helps in this process is that IBM requires all employees to participate in a disability awareness training program. If other companies participate in such actions and took the right steps, then I think that it would definitely lead into more companies accepting people with disabilities. Some recommendations for hiring managers is to recognize their biases. I think that would be the greatest step that a hiring manager can take and a company can take in order to have this hiring discrimination removed. We have them whether we want to tell ourselves we do or don't. All of us have these biases, but what we can do is recognize that we do have them, conscious or unconscious, and be sure to not allow them to determine our choices. It's really more about self-awareness. Once you know what you are biased towards and can see how it does affect the outcome of applicants, it's on you to work on it and to be sure to not let that ruin your choices. As for applicants, I would advise you to do your research into companies and see how many employees there are that are people with disabilities. From there, you can determine if this company is worth your time and effort into applying. Because a lot of cases, if you see that these companies don't appreciate or there is no diversity within PWDs, it may not be worth the time because those misconceptions are there. Remember that these hiring discriminations do exist, but there are ways to steer away from it, as well as ways to fix it. Thank you for your time, and I do hope that what you took away from this video will help you at the end of it all. And good luck on your job searches.